Unafraid Show, Rights to or Wrong. It's your boy George Reister in the building, and we got a lot to talk about today. The first thing I got for you guys is I want to let you guys know I am ready for LeBron. LA Bron. Yes, I'm ready for LeBron right now. So we're going to break it all down. And I challenge all you people. This is going to be funny because I already know that there's going to be so many people that are going to say, oh, George, don't you hate LeBron? But now all of a sudden you're a LeBron fan. No, I've always recognized LeBron as one of the three greatest players of all time. I just don't see him as a GOAT yet. However, this move, LeBron coming to LA, gives him massive opportunity. And the question is, am I going to give LeBron a pass because he plays for my favorite team now? No. He does not get passes, man. You have no excuses when you are the best player in the world, and he's got to find a way to make all his teammates better. Because everybody knows that's one of my knocks against him is that the way he plays basketball hinders his teammates who create their own shots. He turns them into catch and shoot guys. So with that said, he's got to change that. So that's the first thing. Second thing is what this means for the Lakers, what this means for the NBA. Because first of all, LeBron all by himself changes the landscape. Because if you look at the betting odds, the Lakers came into the free agency because they knew they could get LeBron with as 20-1. You could bet on them to win the championship, the futures bets. LeBron signs, they're 7-2. They're tied with the Boston Celtics for the second best odds of winning the NBA championship. Golden State Warriors have the best odds. Do you realize how incredible that is? And then that brings up this. The Eastern Conference has to be on notice. The Eastern Conference has to be on notice because everybody had excuses about LeBron. Oh, the Toronto Raptors, they couldn't win. They got to wait on LeBron to leave. Boston Celtics, wait on LeBron to leave. Now you don't have any excuses. Like you have no choice but to get it done. Because if you don't get it done, it proves all along that you didn't have or you weren't what you thought you were. It proves it. Golden State is 9-5 odds. That's incredible. That's better than 2-1. I mean, I know that they have the most talented team in the league, but so the Eastern Conference is out of excuses. You got DeMar DeRozan out of excuses. Can't take him and Kyle Lowry. Can't take any more excuses. Philadelphia's got a shot now. And Boston Celtics, they got a real legitimate shot. So there are no more excuses about LeBron. Oh, he's the reason why we can't get out of the first round, can't get out of the second round. Now you got to put up or shut up. Like, he put a lot of pressure on not just himself going to LA, but he put a lot of pressure on the Eastern Conference and the players out there, the best players out there, they're all-stars out there. Now they got to get it done. Now they got to get it done because there's no more hiding behind LeBron is all of a sudden like LeBron. You can't beat LeBron James. No more hiding behind that. You got to show up, put up or shut up time, buddy. There's no room for hiding on this. But the question that I got for you is this. I'll answer your question about the Rockets, but I wanted to go first into the pressure on LeBron and his legacy. Because if you look at the Lakers, all of their all-time greats, except for Elgin Baylor, have delivered a championship. At least one. You got Kobe, Magic, Shaq, Kareem, Wilt, Jerry West, James Worthy, George Mikan, like so many players who delivered, their best players who delivered championships. And now LeBron has a lot of pressure. And there were so many detractors and so many people that were like, oh, yeah, LeBron, there's no way he'll leave the Eastern Conference. I was one of those people. 2 years ago, I did not see him leaving the Eastern Conference because that provided him the best way to get to the finals every year. And then you really only got one extremely tough series. Yeah, you might have a 7-gamer in the Eastern Conference, but never any real doubt about who was going to come out of the Eastern Conference. And now LeBron has set it up. He's setting himself up to quiet the people who question whether he's the greatest of all time. And I'm one of them people that questions it. So he's setting it up to shut me up and shutting up so many other people. Because if you think about this, this is the 4th act of LeBron's career. Like, he has a chance to prove all his haters wrong. All the people that said he wouldn't leave the Eastern Conference, raise my hand. Like, all the people that said the Lakers are Magic and Kobe's team. Well, you know, Shaq's the Laker too. He's got a banner hanging up. He's got banners hanging up there. He's got his jersey retired. So that's all the things that they said about him. And then he has a chance to be the GOAT because he can do things that Michael can't do, that Michael Jordan cannot do. See, LeBron cannot be 6-0. Oh, I do agree that the Lakers and the Warriors is going to be a heck of a Western Conference series this year if it manifests itself. So you have LeBron, who cannot be 6-0 like Michael Jordan. He can't do that because he's 3-6 in the finals right now. There's no way to do that. But what LeBron can do is LeBron can win 2 championships in Miami. So because Miami was down before he got there, then Bosh came, him and Wade and Bosh all played together, won 2 championships, 2 finals MVPs there, goes to Cleveland, wins again, like raises that franchise from the ashes, from like Loserville Central, the armpit of America, which is Cleveland. He raised them up from being the armpit of America and nobody caring about Cleveland sports or believing that they could win anything. Then if he comes to the Lakers and wins 2 championships, he can't just win 1. He's got to win 2. If he wins 2 championships in the 4 years with the Lakers, Michael Jordan never did that. Michael Jordan never did that. And with that, I would have to give him the GOAT. I don't know about Chris Bosh going to the Lakers. I don't think that would be a good look. His health is, I don't think he's ever going to play again just because I don't think anybody's going to clear him because it's a danger with his blood clots and all of that. And there's never been a player in the history of the NBA, NFL, MLB, or the NHL to win MVPs, finals MVPs with 3 different teams. Never. There's never been a player to do that. And this completely changes the landscape of the Western Conference. Completely. Because if you look at the Western Conference from last year, Houston had the best record, even though Golden State was the best team. You had Portland with the 3rd best record. Then Oklahoma City, Utah, New Orleans, San Antonio, and Minnesota. See, here is where you have to really see that the Lakers obviously are going to be a playoff team. Like, they won 35 games last year, which put them 12 out of the playoffs. And LeBron is worth more than 12 wins. He is. LeBron, JaVale McGee, and Lance Stevenson, which I think is absolutely fantastic that LeBron is playing with Lance Stevenson. This makes me so happy. Like, this could not make me any more happy to see this. And I will talk about the Lakers potential trade with the Spurs for Kawhi Leonard. I don't think that that's going to happen, though. And the reason why I don't think that that's going to happen is because if you're the Lakers, if you get Kawhi, then you're not going to be in a position to keep Julius Randle, Ingram, Lonzo, Josh Hart, all of these guys. You're going to be in a position to where the Spurs know that you want him really badly. So it's a supply and demand. Like, if I have 50 cases of water at home and it's just a normal sunny day outside, what are the water bottles worth? $1, $2 a piece? But let there be an earthquake out here and people don't have water. How much are my water bottles now worth? $20, $50 a piece. I mean, if you get desperate, $100, million. I mean, like, it all depends on the supply and demand. And that's where the Spurs are with Kawhi Leonard. They know the Lakers want him. They know he wants to go to the Lakers. He's under contract. So what do? You make him pay dearly. You make him pay dearly. And if you're the Lakers, like, you can't be willing to mortgage your future, or mortgage the pieces that are going to make to give LeBron a chance and the Lakers organization a chance to win a championship. You can't do that. Like, that would just be absolutely foolish to give up a lot of that. And your draft picks too, because your draft picks are key. Like, that's how you sustain long-term success, is your draft picks. Because remember, like, we saw that with the Yankees where they just tried to buy free agents. Golden State hasn't bought free agents. They're homegrown. They got one free agent. When the Yankees tried to buy everybody, it didn't work. When they had Derek Jeter, Posada, the Sandman, all of that, do you know what they did? They went out and got A-Rod, and then they won again. One free agent, not 4 or 5. It just doesn't work like that. For some reason in sports, when you try to buy free agents, it never comes together. I can't think of a team that it did come together. But in the Western Conference, somebody asked if Houston now had a shot. The answer is no. Houston didn't have a shot last year. Golden State was injured. Steph Curry wasn't completely healthy. They weren't playing well. And then they got hit in the mouth. Then they came back. And unless James Harden decides that he's going to do something dramatically different playing defense, they cannot win. Like, they cannot win with James Harden playing defense the way he plays. It's absolutely, like, it's impossible for them to win like that. But it is very important to note. It is very important to note that the landscape of the Western Conference, that not only where the Lakers are going to finish, because you have to assume that Oklahoma City, who was 48-34, will be very similar to what they are now. And Utah should be about the same, maybe a tick better. But then the Lakers are better. So that's more wins and losses for everybody. So I expect the Lakers to finish 3rd or 4th in the Western Conference this year. It's going to be a dogfight. But then in the playoffs, they got a shot. They got a shot, especially if they can pull off a couple more moves. But I do believe that this Lakers team is a year away from winning. Like, that they can't win a championship this year, but maybe next year. I'll sign up for that. But another note that I find interesting is the Western Conference All-Star team. Do you realize how absolutely, like, disgusting it is going to be to try to get on the Western Conference All-Star team? Does anybody realize that? Think about this. In 2017, your Western Conference starters were Steph Curry, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis. Last year, all those guys made the All-Star team except for Kawhi Leonard. And because he was hurt. And then you had Russell Westbrook in there, all that. So now LeBron James steps into the Western Conference. Guess what? He's not coming off the bench. He's going to be leading vote getter probably again. And do you know who comes off that list? I mean, like, the talent disparity in the Eastern Conference, Western Conference is not even close. It's asinine how big it is. You look at, so Steph Curry will be on the All-Star team. He'll be one of the 2 leading vote getters probably, and that'll put him in the starters. You got LeBron James, even though they both can't be team captains next year, but still, they'll both be in the starting lineup. And then you got, and I know that they do the vote system a little bit different now, but they'll be in the starting lineup. You got Kevin Durant. I mean, really consider this. Like, you're probably going to have, out of the 10 All-Star starting spots, probably 9 of them are going to be Western Conference because you got Steph Curry, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard if he plays, Anthony Davis. You got, just quite from the 2018 roster. You got, and then you might get Paul George because he got snubbed last year. That's already 6. And then you got, who else do you have? You got Karl Anthony Towns, Damian Lillard, and then Draymond and Clay. Like, that's already 10 guys who may be starting. And then on the Eastern Conference, and then I forgot about Jimmy Butler. I mean, really consider the fact that out of all 10 spots, because the 2 leading vote getters are going to be obviously LeBron and Steph, and then behind them is going to be probably Joel Embiid could be the leading vote getter behind them. But then you got Kevin Durant, who's going to get a ton of votes as well, so he'll probably be team captain. So if you have 2 Western Conference guys as team captains, guess what you're going to get? Probably 10 Western Conference guys in the starting lineup. Because who can you take out of that starting lineup? I mean, like a legit thing. And then I forgot about Chris Paul, too. Chris Paul, he didn't even make the All-Star team last year. And so he may have a spot. You think he may not make the All-Star team? He's making $40 million a year? Yeah, right. So who could you possibly put over those guys? That's 11 guys for 10 spots. Is Giannis better than all of them? I mean, you could argue with like Jimmy Butler, all that, but not guaranteed. Joel Embiid, fantastic player, but not necessarily better than all them. And then you got Kyrie Irving. I mean, this is absolutely like insane. Like how Al Horford, fringe, even though he played well in the playoffs. Bradley Beal, LaMarcus Aldridge, Goran Dragic, Andre Drummond. I mean, come on, man. Like, there's only so many spots on an all-star team. So if you're in the Western Conference, you're like, whew, boy, I better have, I mean, like, you literally have to have the season of your life if you are not a mega star. If you want to get on the NBA All-Star team, you're going to have the season of your life. Artist Cash, man. Yep, you are right. I do believe that the NBA changed the format simply for preparation of this. But they still have the top vote getters from the Eastern and Western Conference, so it's balanced. Even though it shouldn't be. It's still balanced, even though it should not be, because the talent disparity is just absolutely ridiculous. The teams are driven on public votes, and that's why you have the most popular players, the players with the most TV commercials, getting the most votes. There's another side note that I want to talk about LeBron. So if you guys don't know, he wears the little bands that says "I promise." That's his foundation and all that. The man is opening up a school. So I tweeted out the other day, I was like, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I said that the most incredible thing about LeBron James is not the fantastic basketball player he's turned out to be. It's the fact that this dude moved like 10 times by the time he was like 9 years old. Well, 10 times in between he was 5 and 8 or 9 years old. Then he had to go live with another family because his mom was on drugs, all that. And then the fantastic human being that this dude has turned out to be. Think about this. This dude's a loving father, husband, great teammate. He's a leader. He's a business mogul. He employs people. And here's the most important stat. 1,100 kids are going to college because of LeBron James. $41 million out of his own pocket. $41 million out of his own pocket. It is incredible. Oh, that's funny. He's got all that money, but he can't fix his hairline. That is funny. But nowadays you can put them them lace fronts on, and I guess he may have to do that, but everybody would be on his head if he did that. I find it interesting though that that last year that the last time that LeBron left Cleveland, the franchise value dropped 25% in a single year. And if that happens again, then Dan Gilbert will lose more than $300 million on the value of his team. And he, over the 11 years that LeBron played for Dan Gilbert, he only made, I know, only, right? I get it. But he's the best player in the world. And he's worth way more than this. I get teachers, doctors, people, our military should be paid more, but that's not the way it works in life. The people who generate a lot of income make a lot of money. He made $136.6 million from Dan Gilbert, but he's going to make in 11 seasons, but he's going to make 154 over the next 4 with the Lakers. Well deserved, LeBron. Well deserved. And I find it very interesting. The thing I found interesting is the way that Dan Gilbert took his exit. Oh my God! Last year he wrote that. Last time when he went to Miami, he wrote that scathing letter. Oh, we hate you. You'll never be anything. You won't be a winner. This time, no. He got smart. He made a business decision. Basically saying that that thank you for keeping your promise. You did everything you did. You're a family man first. We love you, and we can't wait forward to the retirement of the famous number 23 Cavs jersey one day down the line. Smart move, Dan Gilbert. I've called you the worst owner in sports because you are, but this is a smart move. I don't know who told you to do this, but this was smart because there's no way he came up with this all by himself. Because LeBron is worth a lot more money to the Cleveland franchise, the Cleveland Cavaliers, if he retires a Cleveland Cavalier. Because Dan Gilbert knows that number in the rafters, that means LeBron's got to come back. That means he's always associated with the team instead of going into the Hall of Fame as a Miami Heat member or a Los Angeles Lakers. So he tried to paint LeBron in the corner. But LeBron ain't to be painted in the corner. I'll tell you that much. Do I think CP3 will join the Lakers next year? No, he signed a 4-year, $160 million deal. No. Which I think is going to be horrendous the last 2 years of that deal. Because he's getting old and he's always hurt. Fantastic player, fantastic heart. But listen, he doesn't have the best ability in sports right now, which is availability. I do think that they needed a new rule for NBA All-Star teams and for the playoffs. Because the Western Conference is so stacked. It's so freaking stacked that you're going to have teams at home that would dominate in the Eastern Conference. Because you got Toronto. So the two best teams in the Eastern Conference the 3 best teams in the Eastern Conference coming up are Boston, Philadelphia, and Indiana. And then Milwaukee, maybe. But those are the 3 best teams. Then Toronto's a team that just can't win because they don't have the horses. They don't have the guys. You got Washington. Them dudes can't figure it out. Bradley Beal and John Wall can't just figure it out together. Miami short on talent. I mean, so think about this. If you took the Utah Jazz or the Oklahoma City Thunder and you put them in the Eastern Conference, they would finish in the top 3. Guaranteed. In the top 3 comfortably. Are the Lakers getting DeMarcus Cousins? Don't know if the Lakers are getting DeMarcus Cousins, but it would make sense. Here's the thing that they could do. DeMarcus won't be ready till at least January because he tore his Achilles. But the question is, would he be because nobody's going to give him a max contract right now. So the question is, will DeMarcus Cousins be willing to sign a 1-year deal at a low salary to come play with the Lakers as like a prove me deal and then make it through the playoffs, make the playoff run and all that? Imagine that. That would be dope. That would be big. So I do think that there's a legit shot that Boogie Cousins ends up in Los Angeles, even if it's only for 1 year. And then Kawhi Leonard's coming in next year because I don't think there's any way that the Lakers trade their picks. No way. And the playoffs, though, the NBA really has to reconsider its playoff model because the top 16 teams in the NBA should make the playoffs. I know that requires like a rebalancing of the schedule because you don't play Eastern Conference teams play the Eastern Conference teams more than they play the Western Conference teams. They'll only play like 3 games against them versus 4 or 5 against their aside from 4 from all the Eastern Conference opponents. So I know that there's going to have to be a rebalancing of the schedule, but that's needed, man, because how on earth are you going to have Houston, Golden State, Portland, Oklahoma City, Utah, New Orleans, San Antonio, Minnesota, and the Lakers? That's 9 spots for 8 people. Oh, and then you got the Denver Nuggets who were 10 games over 500 and missed the playoffs. If you were 10 games over 500 in the Eastern Conference, you finished 6th. If you were 10 games over in the Western Conference, you finished 9th or 10th. And this year is going to be no different because the Lakers are going to be even better. It is going to be incredible. I am excited. There's so much to break down about this. Do not forget to go to unafraidshow.com. We got great content up on a daily basis. Everything from LeBron, the anonymous emails come out on Wednesday, so make sure you check those out. They're absolutely hilarious. And send in your questions to unafraidshow@gmail.com. They are absolutely incredible. People send us some crazy stories. I give advice the best that I can, and I try to make it entertaining for you guys. Thank you guys for joining me. Unafraid Show. Check out the podcast. Peace out. I will catch you guys tomorrow. And we will have a special guest.